Hello and happy 2025, my little book lovers. That's probably the last time I can say that in a video and it be not weird. Today I just wanted to talk all about everything reading 2025. My reading goal is 50 books and I think I've found the genre that I love, which is romantic fantasy, or even just fantasy, anything in the fantasy realm really. So I want to go over a little bit of a book tag, share my TBR for January and just all of 2025 so you guys can get an idea of some books you might also want to read if you like my book taste, my current reads, the authors I want to try, just a little beginning of the year book tag to look back on. First of all, I'm off to a fantastic start for January. I already finished one book. I'll be done with my second today. It's January 6th, the day I'm filming this, and I'll probably finish my third book in the next like 2-ish days. So I'm feeling really good and I've been eating up all the books, which is why I've just been flying through them. So anyway, let's just start the tag with authors I want to read in 2025. First up is Lynn Painter. She is the author of Better Than the Movies, which is one of the very few romance books I actually ate up. It's about teenagers and grief and love, and it's funny and it's like so age appropriate for the age that they are. The banter was good, the writing was good. I just loved her writing, so I really want to give some more of her books a try because she is one of the few romance authors who has successfully made me like a non-fantasy romance book, and I'm very open to that genre if I can find more authors like Lynn Painter, so I want to see if I like more of her books. Next is Ali Hazelwood. The only reason this is on this list is because I hear so much about her. I did read Cruel Winter with You, which was her Christmas novella. I rated it 2 stars. For what it was fine, but I could see how her writing could be really good in a long form book, not a 70-page book. So I definitely want to give it a try and see if I like it. I also want to try Abby Jimenez. I have one of her books just for the summer, and it's a part of what I believe is like a standalone series or interconnected series. So you don't have to read it in order, but I was told by a lot of people it would be more of a hard hitter if I didn't read that one first and I actually read them in the order she suggests or published them in. So I want to start at the beginning of her little series and kind of make my way through it. I don't know if I'll like her or not. Once again, I'm trying to give more authors outside of fantasy a try because I want to relate to people who like those books and they sound fun. I also want to try Emily Henry, and I have read one of her books. I read Beach Read and I think it was a 2-star. I really hated it, and I try not to be a hater when I talk about it because so many people liked it, but I also heard a lot of you relating to me when I said I didn't like it. So I watched a video of someone else who didn't like Beach Read read all of her books, and from what I got of the comments and from that girl's video is that it is hit or miss. You either love her book or hate it, and every book is kind of written for a different type of person, and so you could love her in general, but then you read one of her books and it just didn't hit for you. So with that in mind, I want to give her another chance, but I just don't know which one to go for next. If I hated Beach Read, what would you guys recommend for me to try first? I know she has a new one coming out this year as well. And last on just my authors off the bat I know I want to try is Brandon Sanderson. That is a whole thing. He has this whole Cosmere of books, and I don't even know how many books are on it. I want to say it's like 30 plus, 40 plus, I don't know. He writes so many books, and I literally watched one of his TikToks saying how he had to like move printing facilities because his book was just too big, and I'm like, But he is like top tier fantasy writer, especially like still alive, modern now, still writing. I need to get into it. So hopefully eventually I can. Now for the series I want to read in 2025, off the bat, I know that I want to complete all of these series. That's why I've kind of put it in its own category. First and foremost is complete everything that will be out of Fourth Wing because Onyx Storm comes out in less than 20 days. And that'll be the third of the Fourth Wing series. I think there's gonna be 5 of them. So I'm really excited for that one. Next is The Cruel Prince. My plan right now is to just read the 3 main ones. If I like those, then I'll read the novellas. And I know there's like kind of a whole universe of books that go with The Cruel Prince, but I want to finish just the main 3. I actually have them right up there: The Cruel Prince, Wicked King, and Queen of Nothing. I want to read all 3 of those. I've already read the first one and it was fun, so gotta finish that. I also have Caraval, and I haven't even started that yet, and my main motivator for finishing Caraval is to start the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which I hear nothing but good things about. It seems like it's right up my alley. So I also heard Caraval is good, but you kind of read it so you can read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Very excited about that. And then that puts me on Once Upon a Broken Heart also. Should be read this year. Another series is An Ember in the Ashes. I have the first two on my bookshelf right here. I've read the first one. I really liked it. I'm surprised it's not more popular. I think that's my goal, is to make it popular. Well, I guess first I should see if I like all the books, but the first one I rated 4 stars. I really liked it and I like where we're going, so I gotta finish that series. The Heartless Hunter duology. I believe it's just gonna be a duology. I'll talk about this in a minute, but I actually already read Heartless Hunter. I put it on this list and then finished it, first book of the year. Absolutely ate it up, and the second one comes out in February. I'm so excited. The Shatter Me series, I have the first one, and I did put on here like these are series I want to finish this year. I actually don't know if I'll finish Shatter Me. I want to read the first one. It's pretty short, see if I like it, then I'll make that decision. But I feel like it's just one of those ones that everybody's read and I need to read. Lord of the Rings, as you can see right here, I'm in the middle of that one. I've been in the middle of it since November for some reason. I just need to listen to it and read along with it because I'm like struggling to keep going because all my other books are just so fast paced, a lot more lighthearted, and Lord of the Rings is very like, it's written older, it's just, if you've ever read it, you just know. It's just different, but I need to read it. One Dark Window, I am so excited about that series. I believe it's just a duology. I hear nothing but good things about it on TikTok. I'm very excited because everyone says the magic system is really interesting. It has to do with like cards, and certain cards have magic or something. I'm not sure, but it sounds very intriguing. The Lightlark series, I believe there are 3 of them out, and I think that's it. I'm not 100% sure though. I always see the author on TikTok, and her TikToks are so fun, love it. I didn't love the first book, but I also had like nothing necessarily against it. It just didn't quite hit for me. So I definitely want to finish the rest of the series, and I've heard Nightbane, the second one, is amazing. So I will be reading that. The Serpent of the Wings of the Night, is that what it's called? I think so. I've heard unbelievable things about this series and the Blood of Ash, I think is what it's called, series. I've heard they're both really good if you like that like ACOTAR vibe. So I'm just gonna read them and see. I actually have no clue what either of them are about. And lastly is one I'm also starting this month, which is the Red Rising series. The first book is going to be the book for my book club with all the girls in my family this month. I'm so excited. This is a non-romantasy. It's just fantasy. I hear nothing but good things. Everybody I know who has read it absolutely loved it. Male, female, older, younger. That's why I love it, because if I do like it, I can recommend it to everybody I know. On to the new releases. There are a couple new releases coming out this year that I am so excited for. And when I first got into the book world and I would hear YouTubers talk about new releases, I'm like, how the heck do you know what's coming out this year? That made no sense to me. Now I am one of them. Just once you get into the book world, you figure it out really quick. So let's just briefly go through. I have like basically 5 I'm really excited about. Onyx Storm, of course, is the 3rd and the 4th Wing series. It comes out January 21st. Could not be more excited. I'm left on such a cliffhanger. I really want to know what happens next. So this is your sign. If you haven't started 4th Wing yet, I don't know if you could finish them both in time. You probably could, but I would definitely get invested. It's dragons, it's amazing, it's fun, it's love, okay? Who doesn't love that? The Rebel Witch comes out in February, which is the second to Heartless Hunter. It's a witch hunter romantasy, and I just love it. I love the vibes, I love the world. Yeah, I just can't wait for the second one. Fearless, the 3rd in the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts, comes out in, I believe, I have written down April. Might want to fact check me on that, but also very excited because we were left on a big cliffhanger with Reckless, and this is my first series. I've actually read them as they have all come out. I read Powerless a little bit delayed, but still like within the year it came out, and then I read Reckless when it came out, I read the novella when it came out, and I'm gonna read Fearless when it comes out, and I'm so excited to be a part of that. Wait, what even? Okay, I have this one written down. I don't have the author. I have no idea what I'm talking. Oh, maybe this is the Emily Henry book. Yeah, Great Big Beautiful Life is the new Emily Henry book coming out in April. So that's perfect. January, February, little break in March, and then April, lots of new releases. And then the one other I just found out about is the second Quicksilver book. It's said to come out in November, I believe November 18th of 2025, because it was supposed to come out this year and then she got traditionally published, which is amazing for the author. It is like the huge book talk book right now that everyone's obsessed with. I have started it. That's the second book I'm almost already done with, and I am obsessed. Correct, yes. I'll talk about that in a different video, but oh my gosh, I can't wait for the second one. Now for my 2025 TBR, I'm only gonna be mentioning 22 books, which will pretty much be the first half of my year because my goal is 50 books. And if I can keep reading these, I'm probably gonna read a lot this year because I'm so excited about every single one of the books on this list. Now this is not an exhaustive list. This is just like January, March, April, May, June, whatever TBR. Like this will be added to. I won't be following it super strict, but I really hope by the end of the year I finish every single one of these books. So here we go. Heartless Hunter. I just realized none of this, I didn't put the author for any of these, which I really need to start doing that. When I do these videos, I never mention the author. I don't know why. I need to do that. Anyways, Heartless Hunter, I already read. It was great. I loved it. So just moving on. Fairytale, I'm in the middle of right now. It's a gothic historical fiction fantasy. There's a little bit of paranormal in it, but it's so weird. I don't even know what's going on and I love it. I've never read a book like this before, so if you're into like that vibe, maybe wait till Halloween, but it's so cool. The Fellowship of the Ring is what I'm currently in the middle of, starting the Lord of the Rings series, obviously by J.R.R. Tolkien. I think we all know what that's about. Spark of the Everflame, I'm blind. I don't know what it's about, but I've heard so many good things. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so is Heartless Hunter and Fairytale, I believe. I have Kindle Unlimited, so I'm trying to stick to books that are on Kindle Unlimited if I'm not going to physically buy it. But Spark of the Everflame, I've heard is kind of in that genre of books that I really love, that romantasy, yeah. I don't know what it's about, so I'm going to stop talking about it. The Sword of Kaigen, I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. I recently came across because of some male book talkers, and obviously usually the male book talkers aren't reading romantasy, they're just reading like high fantasy type of stuff. But I've heard from multiple male book talkers, and then it started to make its round on the girly pop. So I've heard it's just a really great epic story. I believe it's just one book, don't quote me on that, but I did suggest it for my book club, but we did a randomized generator chosen, and that one didn't get it. It was Red Rising, but I really want to read that. And then next is Red Rising, which I am going to be starting in the next week or so for my book club. Also don't know what it's about, but it's like a sci-fi fantasy-ish. I just heard it's really good. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I'm 90% of the way through. After this video, I'm finishing this book. It is so good. It's making its way to my 5-star, but warning, there is a lot of spice in the book, but I try to look past it. It's like Court of Silver Flames for me. Like, it would have been good without the spice. I don't like how much spice was in it. I wish it was like closed door or just like not as detailed. That's how I feel about it. But other than that, it's so good. Nightshade, which is the second in the Lightlark series, I already mentioned that. Onyx Storm, of course, that comes out this month. One Dark Window, I already mentioned I want to read the series, very excited about it. Daughter of No Worlds, this one is for sure on Kindle Unlimited, and I did start it because it's actually free on Audible, at least it was when I downloaded it. And I love a good audiobook. If you want to read fast, immersive reading is where it's at, especially if you're like me and like dyslexia and you just read the wrong, you just change all the words in your head and then it doesn't make sense. Immersive reading is for you. So yeah, Audible has that one for free, at least it did. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I've heard amazing things about it. I've heard it kind of more like a Throne of Glass, like strong female character, broken kingdom, less like romantasy and more fantasy, but there is romance in it. Wait, what? Oh, I think it's called Nightbane. Did I say Nightshade? I also have 2 books written on here. One is just Nightmare. I don't think that's a book. I think I meant to put Nightshade. So I think that's just on there twice and both of them are the wrong name. So that's really cool. I also apparently put Red Rising on here twice. So this is only 20 books, I think now. Divine Rivals, that's like an OG book talk series that I still have yet to read. I've heard it's really great, kind of in that genre that I like. Along with that, Caraval, same kind of situation. Torch of the Night is the second in the Ember and Ashes series. That's on my TBR. I want to start, like I said, The Serpent of the Wings of the Night. And then the first, Brandon Sanderson. I don't know why his name is so hard for me to say. Brandon Sanderson. That's just like a word twist in my mouth. I want to read Tress of the Emerald Sea. I don't know if that's even a good place to start, but it's like lighter, it's shorter. I feel like it'd be a good intro just maybe into his writing, and I've heard the book is pretty good. Encyclopedia of Fairies. I also see this on TikTok all the time, and it's very hit or miss for people, so I want to give it a try. Anathema or Anathema. I've heard this is like the next big book of TikTok, just like Quicksilver was. Let me look up the author just because it is like not as popular. By Carrie Lake. It says it's the first in a series, so I don't know how many are going to be in the series or if they're already published, but this came out September 13th, 2024, so that's very recent. It says romantic fantasy, dark fantasy, gothic fiction, romance, so that's kind of the genre it's in. I have no clue what it's about. I think I put it on my TBR because I saw a TikTok of like a quote or something and was like, immediately add to TBR. I do that a lot. If the vibes are good, if someone makes a good edit of a book, I will immediately add it to my TBR. The Liar's Twisted Tongue, let me look up the author on this one. This is by Caroline Cusinelli. I'm so bad at names, sorry if I butchered that. Also, don't know what this is about. This was another TikTok random edit. Looked really cool, I want to read. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited. Usually if I see a cool edit and it's on Kindle Unlimited, it will for sure be added to my TBR. So I think that was the case. And then the same with The Ever King. I've heard a lot about that on TikTok. Not like super mainstream, but not like underground either. People have heard of it, people are talking about it. I want to read it. So those are kind of the first 20-ish books that I want to read in the new year. I might dabble in some other stuff as things come out and whatnot, but that's where I'm at. Of course, I'll probably add books, I'll add authors, I'll add series. I'm sure there'll be new releases I hear about that I want to read. The list will evolve, expand, and change, okay? But that's where we're at. That's where I'm at the beginning of 2025. Very much looking forward to this year. I think it's gonna be the best reading year of my life because now I know what I like. I actually enjoy reading. I would rather read than be on my phone. And already this year, I've had 2, almost 3 if I finish Fairytale. Absolute banger of books that I'm just so excited about. And I think that's the best way to start your year of reading is just go for the ones you know you're gonna love. Okay, January is not the month of experiment. It's snowing outside, it's cold, it gets dark at 5. Have a good time, okay? If you guys like my TBR, it sounds like books that you would also read. I like to do reading vlogs, so make sure to subscribe to follow along. Next video I post will be the reading vlog of Heartless Hunter, Fairytale, and Quicksilver, so if you want to see some reactions, stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!